Number two, Milwaukee is one step closer to hosting the 2024 Republican National Convention after hosting a scaled-back Democratic convention in 2020. My co-anchor Charles Benson live tonight from Cambria Hotel in downtown. Charles?
Good evening, Shannon. Yeah, I'm out of the TMJ4 studio today to get a closer look at what hosting a national convention would mean for the city and state. For starters, the Cambria Hotel here in downtown Milwaukee would be packed, as well as other businesses and hotels near the epicenter of the political convention at Fiserv Forum. Now, Milwaukee finds itself in a competition with Nashville to hold the Republican National Convention in 2024. It's a big deal economically and politically. It's now down to two cities for one very big national convention.
The battle between Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Nashville, Tennessee is really the battle between beer and battleground politics versus country music. And these are large cultural touchstones. These are things that can really send a strong message all across the nation.
Brian Reisinger has navigated campaigns in both states. The political strategist was on Ron Johnson and Scott Walker's campaign teams, and he worked for Republican Lamar Alexander in Tennessee. What's the landscape like there? What are things that people would not know about Tennessee that would give Tennessee or Nashville an advantage in holding a convention?
It's a deep red state that is going to stand for, I think, a lot of the values that Republicans and conservatives are going to be looking to embody in 2024.
The 2020 presidential election wasn't even close in Tennessee. Donald Trump won by double digits. But in battleground Wisconsin, Trump won by 20,000 in 2016 and lost by that margin in 2020. But Reisinger sees that as an advantage for Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is one of the tightest battleground states in the country. You could argue, depending upon the election, the most important state that you could win. It's been a keystone in presidential elections. It's been crucial to winning or losing Senate majorities.
Nashville sits in one of three blue counties in Tennessee. Joe Biden carried Davidson County with 65% of the vote. Milwaukee is also a Democratic stronghold. Biden won with nearly 70% of the vote in Milwaukee County. Does that create a less friendly environment if Republicans wanted to come here?
Certainly going to be protests, certainly going to be fireworks. I think most of that stuff tends to draw more attention to the convention. So I don't know that people necessarily make a decision trying to avoid that kind of thing. So in both Nashville and Milwaukee, the RNC is going to encounter people who are probably not real happy to have them on the doorstep.
But Reisinger points out in Milwaukee, there's also bipartisan support for landing a political convention, and for good reason, because it's a huge economic opportunity to show off a city and a state for that big week. Shannon?
Okay, Charles, if the party does select Milwaukee, this would put them in a really pretty unique class.
Yeah, it really does. As far as conventions go, it would put Milwaukee as a pretty good answer on a trivia question. Here's why. If Milwaukee is chosen, it would be the only second time a city has hosted back-to-back conventions, and the first since the Big Apple in 1976 and 1980. The only difference is Milwaukee would be hosting both parties' conventions. New York City hosted back-to-back Democratic conventions. Now, the one footnote for Milwaukee is the 2020 DNC was mostly virtual because of the pandemic. Now, even better news for Milwaukee. Several hotels in downtown Milwaukee completed renovations or were finished being built before the DNC in 2020. They include the Cambria Hotel, which is where I am right now, as well as the Drury Plaza, Holiday Inn Express, Home 2 Suites, Milwaukee Athletic Club, True by Hilton, and the St. Kate Arts Hotel. Now, when it comes to Milwaukee versus Nashville, Milwaukee thinks it has a leg up. Both use buses as the primary public transportation. Both claim to be compact cities with easy access to the airport. However, the Tennessee Republican Party chair, who spoke to our sister station, says Nashville's advantage is hotels. They have more of them and more that are considered high-end.
Dinners, lunches, breakfasts, event space, after-hours receptions. We were planning on being extremely busy for the entire convention.
Visit Milwaukee says the combination of new hotels and fewer delegates for the RNC means the entire convention can happen in the Milwaukee area, unlike the DNC, which planned to bus in some of the delegates from the Chicago area.